यसका लागि आजका यस कार्यक्रमका प्रमुख अतिथि एवं सम्माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री रामसहाय प्रसादज्यू, योगदा सत्संग सोसाइटी अफ इन्डियाका महासचिव श्रद्धेय स्वामी ईश्वरानन्द गिरीज्यू तथा परमहंस योगानन्द ध्यान समाज नेपालका तर्फबाट डाक्टर महेश बास्कोटाज्यूलाई मञ्चमा राखिएको गुरुदेव श्री श्री परमहंस योगानन्दजीको तस्बिर अगाडि पानसमा दीप प्रज्वलन गरिदिनु हुन सादर अनुरोध गर्दछु। आजको यस कार्यक्रमका प्रमुख अतिथि एवं सम्माननीय उपराष्ट्रपतिज्यू र योगदा सत्संग सोसाइटी अफ इन्डियाका महासचिवज्यू, उहाँहरूलाई सम्मान गर्नको लागि चाहिँ आज म डाक्टर महेश बास्कोटाज्यूलाई सादर अनुरोध गर्दछु। परमहंस योगानन्द ध्यान समाज नेपालका तर्फबाट डाक्टर अशोक बास्कोटाज्यूलाई योगदा सत्संग सोसाइटी अफ इन्डिया र परमहंस योगानन्द ध्यान समाज नेपालको परिचय दिनुहुन सादर अनुरोध गर्दछु।
Your Excellency, Right Honorable Vice President of Nepal, Ramsahaya Swami Ishwarananda Giri, General Secretary of Yogoda Satsang Society of India, Swami Chaitanyananda Giri, Swami Alokananda Giri, distinguished guests, and all my Guru brothers and sisters of the Yogoda Satsang Society of India and the Self-Realization Fellowship Path. It is a great opportune honor for our Paramahamsa Yogananda Dhyan Samaj Nepal to organize and host this event, in which the Right Honorable Vice President of Nepal, Ramsahai Yadav, is residing as our Chief Guest of Honor, and Swami Ishwarananda Ji is going to speak about our true purpose in life and how one can go about achieving this vital goal. Our Guru Paramahamsa Yogananda and all the great ones of all religions have taught that we are essentially the imperishable soul residing in a perishable body. Through the Kriya Yoga sadhana given by Gurudev Paramahamsa Yogananda, mortal man can manifest his inherent divine potential through a combination of yoga meditation, right activity, wisdom and devotion. Step-by-step lessons are available to pursue this Kriya Yoga sadhana path of our Gurudev Paramahamsa Yogananda and his line of Gurus. Paramahamsa Yogananda established the Yogoda Satsang Society of India in 1917, and at the behest of his Guru Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri went to America to bring the science of yoga to the West in 1920. He later established the Self-Realization Fellowship to disseminate to the world his teachings. He is widely known in the West as the father of yoga. Yogoda Satsang Society of India and Self-Realization Fellowship are sister organizations which work closely to disseminate to the world the great Guru's teachings. The book Autobiography of Yogi, authored by Paramahamsa Yogananda, was first published in 1946 and continues to this day to be a perennial spiritual classic and bestseller. Many in their spiritual quest have found solace and guidance from this remarkable book. The book to date has been translated in over 55 languages, including Nepali, and nearly 90 to 95% of the world's population can now read this book. Paramahamsa Yogananda Dhyan Samaj Nepal has been playing an active role in making available all the materials published by Yogoda Satsang Society of India to all earnest seekers. Paramahamsa Yogananda Dhyan Sabha Nepal functions under the close guidance and in collaboration with Yogoda Satsang Society of India. Activities include regular group meditations, disbursement of study lessons, and all publications of Yogoda Satsang Society of India, and also numerous charitable activities. We have experienced a gradual but steadily increasing interest in these scientific teachings of our Gurudev Paramahamsa Yogananda in our communities. There is also a center in Pokhara. Thank you. Now, it's my honor to introduce our esteemed speaker of this event, Swami Ishwarananda Giri. Swamiji is a member of the board of Yogoda Satsang Society of India as well as its General Secretary. Swamiji graduated as a medical doctor from Maulana Azad Medical College in New Delhi, subsequent to which he earned his M degree as a specialist in chest diseases from the Patel Chest Institute, also in New Delhi. In 1988, he joined the Yogoda Satsang Ashram as a sannyasi and served in numerous capacities there, utilizing his skills. In the first 10 years at the ashram, Swamiji's contribution included many charitable activities such as running free eye camps, running TB clinics, and services to those afflicted by leprosy. Later, Swamiji was sent to the international headquarters of Yogoda Satsang Society in Los Angeles, where he spent around 5 years. Swamiji has travelled extensively throughout India and abroad, taking Guruji's teachings to all earnest seekers and devotees of this path. He has also travelled to major cities in the USA such as Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, Atlanta, etc., and delivered spiritual discourses based on the teachings of Paramahamsa Yogananda. We are honoured and delighted to welcome you, Swamiji, and now humbly request you to deliver your message.
Can you all hear me? Yes. Okay. Namaste. Your Excellency, Shri Ram Sahaya Yadav, Dr. Mahesh Baskota, friends from different media houses of Nepal, brothers and sisters who have come from all over Kathmandu to attend this special function, and last but not the least, all the devotees of Paramahamsa Yogananda who are gathered here on this occasion. My heartfelt love and greetings to each one of you. आजको यस कार्यक्रममा तपाईहरु सबैलाई हार्दिक स्वागत गर्दछु। You pardon me of my half knowledge of your beautiful language, but I felt I should at least deliver one line in that language to express my deep respect for this country and for its national language. And I feel greatly honored to be here, to stand in front of you and share the timeless wisdom of ancient India as expressed through the life and teachings of our Guru, Sri Paramahamsa Yogananda ji. And that too, giving this satsang, giving this talk in this ancient capital city of Kathmandu, which I have been told has been in continuous habitation for several thousands of years, is indeed a special honor, not only for me, but for my dear sannyasi brothers who have come with me. So we are deeply honored, sir, to be here with you. Our topic for today is Kriya Yoga, an ancient science for the modern age. Now, today, why have we all gathered here? In Bhagavad Gita it says, that people come onto the spiritual path or approach God for 4 reasons. And Bhagavan Krishna says those 4 categories of devotees are Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu and Jnani. That means Artha means those who are suffering, either in the body or mind or in the spirit. So those who are experiencing some kind of pain or suffering, we turn to God when everything else fails. When the world does not seem to have the solution for our suffering and pain, then we look for something beyond what this world can offer. And then we turn towards God, then we turn towards yoga. Then Artharthi, Artha means any material gain, any material profit. So anyone who wants to be successful in life, to enjoy the material benefits of which is offered by this material world, and they think that if they approach God, then they will get a special blessing through which they can get their heart's desire. Such people also turn to God. So Artha, Artharthi. And the third category are those who are Jigyasu. Jigyasu means those who are curious, in quest of knowledge, from their own understanding, from their own experiences and explorations into this material world. They somehow come to the realization, no, there must be something more to life than just this material world where you are born, you grow up, you have a family, and then you have to die. There must be something more. The same initial jigyasa which made Lord Buddha give up his family and go out in search for the ultimate truth. So that is the jigyasu. They turn to the spiritual path. And then the jnani, those who have already attained that highest wisdom, those who have achieved enlightenment. So these are the 4 categories. And I think these 4 categories covers all of you who have gathered here. Because that is why we are all seeking something which this world cannot offer. And we are looking for that in yoga. But do we realize, do we understand what yoga is? Today yoga is a household word. Everyone is talking about yoga, but essentially what they understand by this word yoga is Hatha Yoga, essentially yogasanas. But that is not the complete science of yoga. It is just one small part of the vast science of yoga. Essentially, the word yoga gives the hint as to what yoga hopes to achieve or claims to achieve. And that is union. Yoga means union of 2 things. Yugma. So that is yoga.
नमस्कार, यो एभिन्यूज खबरको संकेत हो। तपाई अहिले एभिन्यूज एट खबरमा हुनुहुन्छ। म सुसन रामदाम। प्रारम्भमा मूल खबर। नेपाल उद्योग वाणिज्य महासंघको वरिष्ठ उपाध्यक्षमा अञ्जन श्रेष्ठ निर्वाचित। दोस्रो चरणको निर्वाचनमा श्रेष्ठ सर्वसम्मत रूपमा चयन। सरकार र मिटर ब्याज पीडित बीचको वार्ता भङ्ग। ठगी विरुद्धको आन्दोलनलाई निरन्तरता दिने पीडितहरूको घोषणा।
5औं दिनको वार्तासम्म पनि
नेपालमा कोरोना संक्रमण फेरि बढ्दै। पछिल्लो 24 घण्टामा 106 जनामा संक्रमण पुष्टि। सक्रिय संक्रमितको संख्या 435 पुग्यो। विस्का जात्रा अन्तर्गत भेलु खेलमा भैरवको प्रतीक लिङ्गो उभ्याइदै लिङ्गो जात्रा हेर्नाले सुख समृद्धि र सहकाल आउने विश्वास। र नयाँ वर्षको पूर्व सन्ध्यामा विमान चार्टर गरेर चिनिया पर्यटन नेपालमा। नेपालको पर्यटन क्षेत्रले गति लिने विश्वास। दर्शकबिन परमहंस योगानन्द ध्यान समाज ललितपुर नेपालद्वारा राष्ट्रिय घर कान्ति पथ काठमाडौँमा स्वामी ईश्वरानन्द गिरीद्वारा क्रियायोग आधुनिक युगको लागि विज्ञानमा प्रवचन सम्बन्धी कार्यक्रम जारी रहेको छ। लागौं प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारणतर्फ।
When you have to pass your exams or you have some desire you want to fulfill, you go to the mandir, you carry a coconut, a basket of flowers, you offer that to the deity in the mandir, you bow down to the deity, ring the bell and you come out. That was the extent of my knowledge of religion, and that was the extent of my understanding of as to what God was. But our Hindu scriptures, our Sanatana Dharma has right from the beginning tried to explain to us that God is Nirakar, He is formless. Though He can take any form, He is essentially formless. But He has a nature, He is a Saguna Brahma, He has some gunas, some qualities which all of us can experience. And what are those qualities of God? They describe it as Satchitanand or Nitya Naveen Anand. You heard that word, and that is the best definition of what God is. He is essentially supreme bliss, supreme Anand. And what kind of Anand is this? It is an Anand which is existing always. Sat means a bliss, anything which is eternal. It does not have a birth, growth and death. It is always there and it is eternal. It never ends. So, a never-ending joy. And Chit means it is always conscious of this bliss. And at the same time, another definition is Nitya Naveen Anand. That Anand or bliss, which we experience when we contact God, is ever new, Nitya Naveen. You can never get bored of it. So that is the definition of God. And when I read that, I realized, but how to experience this joy? Can this joy be experienced? Can an ordinary person like me, who has no experience about spirituality, who has not come into contact with any saint, can I myself experience this kind of bliss? That was the question in my mind. And the reason, but I had a small experience of that bliss. And I'm sure many of you may have had that experience. I'll just narrate to you how my spiritual journey started. I was perhaps in class 8, or I think in class 8. I had gotten up from a very deep sleep one morning. And I knew that I had a very nice and deep sleep. I was enjoying myself. And I woke up. And my mother gave me a cup of tea. I was sitting in the balcony of my house outside, enjoying the sunrise. And all of a sudden, without any cause, my heart burst with unexpected joy, which could not be defined. And there was no cause. There was no cause for that. But it was such a joy, it remained with me for several hours. And that experience, though I forgot, I did not completely forget it. It remained in the subconscious, and I was trying to understand what happened, what was that experience. Then later on, a few years later, when I was in class 10, when I read Paramahansa Yoganandaji's autobiography of Yogi, and came to understand that God is defined as Satchitanand, immediately my mind went back to that day, a few years ago, when I had experienced that sudden, causeless joy. So, all of us do experience those moments of what in English is called epiphany. Epiphany means is a supramental experience which we cannot explain. It may happen to us like it happened to me when without any reason, or it can happen when we see somebody whom we love very much. It may happen to us when we see a beautiful scene. But that can be a trigger, or there may not be a trigger. Suddenly we feel we are overwhelmed with this joy. And then I understood that yes, God is trying to contact each one of us. In fact, our Guru Param Sivananji says that there is not a single person who has prayed to God frequently and has not had even one of his prayers answered. That means if we all try to connect with God, if we try to pray to God, He does answer our prayers. Sometimes when we least expect it. Like He answered maybe some subconscious prayer of mine that I want to experience His true nature. And I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences. Because that is what we are. We are a small spark of that God's joy, a small bubble of that Ananda. And when our mind is calm after a deep sleep, like I experienced, or after a deep meditation, then our true nature surfaces, it rises up. And we experience that joy. It is completely natural. It is our real nature. That is what the Sanatana Dharma, the Hindu scriptures teach us. And yoga is the path that gives us a means to experience our own true nature. Experience that deep supernal bliss. That is what yoga is all about. But that is not the only thing. When we practice yoga, what we are essentially doing is we are aligning our consciousness. We are attuning our consciousness with God's infinite wisdom, with God's infinite consciousness. And if you are able to do that even a little bit, what we find is our whole life gets transformed. I have found that in my own life, and I have heard that from many devotees who have followed the path of Kriya Yoga given by Paramahansa Yogananda. Your life, you perhaps had no idea that you will follow spirituality in such a serious manner. But once you start on the path of Kriya Yoga, and through your own efforts and through the grace of the Guru, when you start experiencing that connection with God, that deep peace and joy, immediately you will find that that becomes the most important part of your life. And then you try to make all those changes in your life so that you experience more and more of that joy. Because God is so attractive. He is rasa. Rasa means nectar. And once you taste God, nothing in this world can satisfy us. So that is why all the gurus, all the saints, they exhort us, they encourage us to practice yoga, to practice some path, some method by which we can have at least 1 second of that connection with the divine. And then automatically our life changes. So by practicing yoga, you will find that your life has become more balanced. You are no longer just madly pursuing material goals. You find that yes, material goals are important to feed this body. But much more than that, much more important and much more valuable is to give time to cultivate, to pursue spiritual growth also. So in addition to growth of the material accomplishments, you also start giving time to your spiritual growth. So there is a balance of body, mind and soul. You see, until we come onto the spiritual path, until a great saint teaches us, all of us think that we are just this physical body, this body made of bones and flesh and blood. But that is not so. We are essentially those bubbles of joy, those sparks of consciousness, and we have been given this body. To give an analogy, we all sit in a car and go from place to place. But we don't think that we are the car. However, we get identified with the car. And if some accident happens and your car gets damaged, you feel a lot of pain because you feel you possess it. This is mine. Oh, I have to spend so much money. I love this car so much. So because of that identity, there is pain. What our saints tell us is, it is something similar with our body. We are identified with this car, with this vehicle made of flesh and bones. And we are identified with it not for just 1 or 2 hours, we are identified with it 24 hours of the day. So it is only natural that we start believing that I am the body. So anything which happens with the body affects us. But through yoga, we learn to rise above the body consciousness. We realize gradually that I am not the body, but I am the consciousness within the body. So that is one of the great revelations that we experience when we start meditating, when we start practicing yoga. So as I said in the beginning, yoga is not just yogasanas. Essentially, it consists of a series of techniques by which we calm the mind. We calm the mind. Because what the saints found out was that when the mind is calm, then we realize who we truly are. Paramahansa Yoganandaji says that our mind, or rather our thoughts in our mind, and our breath, they are like two storms which ruffle our consciousness. And they prevent us from seeing who we truly are. And he gives a very old analogy which we all have heard about. Like, suppose there is a lake and it is a full moon night and the lake is very calm. The surface of the lake, there are no ripples, it is perfectly calm. Then the reflection of the moon is clearly seen on the surface of the lake. Isn't that so? But you throw a pebble into the lake and surface of the lake gets disturbed, there are ripples on the lake. What happens? That same image of the moon is shattered and becomes several pieces, small sparks of light. You don't see that image anymore. So also, when our mind is calm, like that calm lake, then the moon of our soul is perfectly reflected. We can see ourselves as the soul. We experience ourselves as that supreme bliss. But what are the disturbances? The two storms which are disturbing this lake of the mind, this Man Sarovar. We hear the word Man Sarovar. What is that? Man Ka Sarovar. Man Sarovar is the real, the lake of the mind. It is not somewhere in the Kailash, though that is a nice pilgrimage, but the real Man Sarovar is within. So these are all external symbols. So when we are able to completely calm down that Man Sarovar, then we realize ourselves as soul. And the two factors which are disturbing that lake are the breath and our thoughts. So yoga consists of a series of techniques which we call pranayama. And through that pranayama, we calm down our breath, calm down our thoughts, and when we reach that state of mental stillness, then our true nature surfaces, manifests itself. We feel deep peace and bliss, because that is what we are. We are Satchitananda, nothing else. So this Kriya Yoga path, which Paramahansa Yoganandaji taught to the world, is based upon Patanjali Maharishi's Ashtanga Yoga. You must have heard about that. Ashtanga Yoga has 8 steps. Ashtanga means 8 steps. So those 8 steps are Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. We will not go into the details of that. But one of the key in that 8 steps is this pranayam, the 4th step, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam. So what is this pranayam? Very briefly, pranayama is control of prana. What is prana? Prana is that invisible life current, invisible electricity which keeps this body alive, which creates this body at the time of birth while we are in our mother's womb. It is this prana which gradually from one single cell we become a small baby. That creation is done by this prana. After we take birth, that because of the pranic activity, our body grows from that of a child's body into an adult. And it is the prana which maintains us until the time of death, when our soul escapes this body along with the prana. So control of this invisible electricity is pranayama. So pran and yam. Yam means control and prana is that invisible electricity. What our ancient rishis found out was a great psychophysical or psychological truth, and that was that our physical breath and our thoughts in our mind are intimately connected. If our breath is restless, then our mind is restless, and vice versa. You will also notice when you are very frightened, when you are very angry or passionate, your breath becomes very fast. Isn't that so? But when you are calm, when you're focused on something, when you're watching a beautiful scenery or when you are meditating, your breath calms down. And when the breath calms down, your mind calms down. So both of them are tied to each other. So most of the pranayamic techniques involve some kind of breathing or watching the breath. But it is not just physical breathing. Through the physical breath, we control the inner prana. We control the inner prana. And what is the need for controlling this inner prana? You see, we have to understand, if we are the souls in essence, and if the true nature of the soul is ananda, joy, and love, prema, why don't we experience it? Why are we always full of worries, fears, anxieties, anger, jealousy? Why all these negative attributes? If I am bliss, if I am ananda, why don't I feel blissful? I don't feel blissful. Most of the time I'm always agitated or angry or anxious or worried. So why don't I feel it? As I said, that is the reason is we are identified with this body. We are identified with all the other things this body is related to, like the family, the society, the nation, the world, all the worldly affairs. And when something wrong happens outside, we are affected. And that is why our true nature as soul is completely obscured, completely covered up, hidden. So what is the solution? The only solution is to withdraw ourselves from the world from time to time. So what our yogis found out was, the soul interacts with this outside world through 5 senses: our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, and our skin. These are the only 5 modes of information which we receive from the outside world. And all the sensations coming from these 5 senses, which are called the Panchendriya, they affect our manas, our mind. So if there is some method by which I can switch off these senses, then I can forget this world. Because you see, our Guru Paramas Yogananda ji, he gave another analogy more in tune with the modern world. He said these 5 senses are like these 5 telephones, and you have no control over them. If people keep calling, the telephones will keep ringing, and you are forced to pick it up and answer or respond or do something. So what is the solution? You cut the wires to the 5 senses, that electricity of the 5 senses. That is the only way, and that is pranayama. Through the pranayamic techniques, you are able to withdraw the pranic currents which are flowing in the five senses and keeping them active. Now you may say, is it possible? And our saints said, yes, and we do it every day. We do it every day. Each one of us is a yogi. When we sleep, isn't it? When we go into deep sleep, our ears don't function. I mean, we are not stuffing it with cotton, but still our ears don't function. Of course, we can say your eyes are closed, so you can't see outside, but your ears are not closed, but you can't hear anything. Your tongue doesn't taste anything, your nose doesn't smell anything, and you are not aware which side of your body you are lying on. You are not even aware whether you are a man or a woman, whether you are a Indian or a Nepali or an American. That means all body consciousness and all the parameters associated with body consciousness. That means identity with your body, with your family, with your nation, with your world is cut off during sleep. Why? The five senses have temporarily gone to sleep. So, it is possible, we are doing it, but it is not under our control consciously. When our body is tired, there is some kind of a automatic mechanism God has given. The body switches off those senses and we fall asleep. And then again, we wake up. And again, suddenly we think, oh, we are the body. So during sleep, this body and this brain is like a computer. During sleep, it goes into the hibernation mode, like a computer goes into hibernation mode. And in the morning again it reboots itself and then realizes, oh, I am the body. In the sleep it forgets. So is there a way by which I can do this consciously? Can I, when I need it, can I cut off all the senses and withdraw my consciousness within? That is the science of pranayama. That is the science of Kriya Yoga, how to do it. So it is a technique which is, as I said, it's an ancient science. It is not a technique which was invented by Paramahansa Yogananda ji in this modern age. It was the technique taught by Bhagavan Sri Krishna to Arjuna in the Gita. In the Gita, the technique is only hinted at. There is one shloka in chapter 4, it says, Apane juhati pranam prane panam tatha pare prana prana gati ruddhva pranayama parayana. That means Bhagavan Krishna is telling one method by which yogis practice to achieve the state of pranayama. Offering the apana current into the prana and the prana current into the apana, you neutralize both apana and prana and reach the state of pranayama. That is all, and there is no more detail there. Bhagavan Sri Krishna doesn't teach what is this prana, apana, how do you offer prana into apana and apana into prana. So it has been hinted at, and that is the Kriya Yoga technique. That is the Kriya Yoga technique. And even when Bhagavan Krishna was giving this upadesh to Arjuna, he says, this technique which I am giving is very ancient. It was given by Surya Bhagavan to Ikshvaku, and then it came down through the royal lineage of kings. So this Kriya Yoga technique was there in the Satyuga period of Indian history, and it has come down from that time to this day. It was lost during the Kali Yuga period, and now according to our Guru's Guru, we are now in the Dwapara Yuga. I will not go into that, but the point is, today man has again reached a state of consciousness where he understands energy, where he understands electricity. So he can understand the concept of prana, he can understand the concept of how to withdraw it. So today, though it is the modern age, it is the age which is most suitable, most suited to understand and practice this ancient technique of Kriya Yoga. That is why we chose this title, Ancient Science, but for this modern age. Each one of us can practice it. It is a science, it is not a religion, it is not a sect. Science is universal in its application. I mean, Paramahansa Yogananda says, someone in some country invented or discovered electricity. But electricity has no nationality. Everyone all over the world is benefiting from electricity. So also this Kriya Yoga. Our sages way past several thousand years ago, they discovered it. And a line of gurus in this modern age rediscovered it and now are teaching through this organization. But it is not meant for just one country or one race or one caste or one nationality or just for men. It is meant for men, women, children of all castes, all ages, all nations. Because it is a science. It has nothing to do with narrow religious beliefs. Anyone can practice it. Anyone who has the desire or the curiosity to find out, is there a God? And can I connect with Him? All these things these saints talk about, is there any truth in it? If you even have, even if you don't believe in it, even if you just have a curious mind, with an open mind, if you practice this technique of Kriya Yoga, you will realize that whatever the saints have spoken, they're 100% true. And then, the beauty of this yoga is, it expands your consciousness. When you begin experiencing God's love and God's joy, the prem and anand of the Bhagavan, then you cannot hate anyone. You see that everyone is your own. All those boundaries, all those limitations of language, nationality, race, caste, creed, they melt away. And you feel that you are the universal person. You belong to the universe. You do not belong to just one country, one nation, or one sect. You become universal in your outlook. And that is what is needed today. The world is divided. The world is full of turmoil because of all this. So we need a science like this, which shows that we are all the children of that one God. Only then, and not before, only then true world peace can be achieved. So, practicing Kriya Yoga not only benefits you as an individual. When you find that you have transformed, your heart is filled with love, your heart is filled with joy, you influence those around you, you influence your family members. And then they influence others. So gradually you are influencing the society. And gradually, the dream of world peace and world unity, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which you talk about, the world is one family, that dream will definitely come true. And that is the goal of this organization, Yogoda Satsang Society of India, which was started by Guruji to propagate the message of Kriya Yoga. So, in a nutshell, very briefly I explained to you what yoga is, what Kriya Yoga is, what is pranayama, what is Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, what is the true nature of God, what is my true connection with that divine, and how I can achieve that connection by practicing a science like Kriya Yoga. But all this will only be so many words. You may remember what I am speaking for a few days and then forget about it. The only way to really benefit is to practice. So that is why Yogananji said the power of Kriya Yoga, and it is very powerful, but the power of Kriya Yoga lies in its regular practice, not just listening about it or talking about it. And that is why I encourage all of you, I request all of you to explore this, read more about it and find out. And who knows, you may find that this is what you are looking for in your whole life. So give it a try and find out what this is all about. Try experiment with yourself. It is not going to happen overnight. Not that you start meditating today, start practicing the meditation techniques that we teach, and tomorrow you will experience that joy and bliss. No, I will tell you my own experience. When I started following this path, for the first 6 months, I could not sit for meditation for even 15 minutes. My body was so restless, my eyes were restless. My mind, my thoughts were going all over the place, and I would get a headache. And I thought, man, what is the point? I'm not able to do this. But still, somehow I kept at it. I said, I'll give this, I'll try this for at least 6 months, and if nothing happens, then I will try something else. So, no matter how difficult it was, I meditated for at least half an hour, 45 minutes every day, morning and evening, because that is the minimum that is required to start experiencing the benefits of meditation. And even before 6 months, I started experiencing that peace and joy. It's not going to happen overnight, but if we keep at it, it will happen. That is the promise of the Guru. That is the promise of our saints. So, Banat Banat Banjai, that was one saying our Param Guru, Sri Lahari Maharshi used to say. Trying, one day achieved. Banat Banat Banjai. You know, the Sant Kabir also said, Rasari, what is that? Jadamati Hot Sujam. Rasari Avat Javat Te Silpar Parat Nisan. He says, even a person who is a dumb fellow, he can become divinely wise or divinely awakened. And he compared it just like a rope. You know, when the rope passes over the stone again and again, even that hard stone, it can create a small groove in it. So like that, by practicing, we can change our stone-like mentalities into divine bliss. It takes effort. But you will find that whatever time you invest in this will give you 1,000-fold return in terms of peace, joy, and awakened intuition. I will not go into more detail. You find out for yourself what is intuition. Through that intuition, you will find that you have developed this capacity to solve all your problems. You will find that God is helping you in every aspect of your life. Okay? So now I would like to give you a taste of the what is meditation, what is pranayam. Very briefly, we will do it for just 10 minutes. Can you hear me? Okay. So first thing is the right posture. The main thing is you have to sit straight, keep the spine straight, because we are working with electricity, with prana. And the main channel for the electricity to flow is the spine, where there is a very important nadi called Sushumna nadi. And we want all the electricity from the different body parts to enter into that Sushumna nadi, so our spine has to be straight. So to keep the spine straight, what you do is you keep your palms turned upwards and place them at the junction of the thighs and the body here, like this. And pull back your shoulder blades like this, and then relax. If you find keeping your hands here is not comfortable, you can put them a little in front also. But keeping them at the junction of the thigh and the body is the best position. So pull back the shoulder blades, try to bring them together behind, and then relax. Keep the neck straight. The chin should be parallel to the ground. That means your head should not be looking down, or it should not be turned way back also. It should be parallel to the ground. Eyes should be closed, and gently turn your eyes up so that they are looking at the spot in between the eyebrows. That is called the Bhrumadhya. That means the spot between the two eyebrows, or it is also called Kutastha. So you don't strain, gently lift both your eyes upwards. They will automatically focus at the right spot. So this is the position. Now, the body needs to be in the right position. That means the spine should be straight, but the rest of the body should be relaxed. There should be no tension. So what we do is, the technique to relax the body completely is to raise it to high level of tension and then relax it with a jerk. So I'll show you. I take a breath, and as I'm breathing, I am tensing the whole body. When I say whole body, I mean right from my toes, my feet, the calf muscles, the thighs, the buttocks, the stomach, the chest, the arms, the neck. All the parts I tense simultaneously, but I gradually increase the tension until the body vibrates. So you please open your eyes and see, just look at me. See, when I say high tension, you gradually, for example, look at my hand. As I am making the fist and increasing the tension, at one point, the hand starts to vibrate because of the high tension. So you have to raise the body tension to that level, the entire body, and then relax it with a jerk. We will do this 3 times. So I'll show you once. So like this. And when I am relaxing, I am exhaling through the mouth with a double exhalation like this. So I inhale slowly and tense the whole body. Raise it to high tension. Double exhale and relax. Repeat it once more. Gradually breathe in and raise the whole body to high tension. Double exhale and relax. Now keep your hands with the palms upturned at the junction of the thigh and the body. Keep the spine straight. Eyes closed. Focused at the point between the eyebrows. Forget the outside world. Try to calm your mind. Tell yourself that for the next 10 minutes, I am not going to think of anything but of the deep peace in my heart, the deep joy in my heart, which is God. Now, we will do a special type of breathing called 20-20-20 breathing. What we do is we take in the breath to a count of 20, hold it to a count of 20, and exhale through the mouth to a count of 20. And we usually do this 6 to 12 times, but today we'll only do it twice, just to understand how it is to be done. And we will inhale, hold, and exhale only to a count of 10, not 20, so that because not everyone has that much capacity. So if you cannot do it for 20, you can do it for 15 or 10, but keep the count equal. That means your inhalation, your holding the breath, and exhalation, all the 3 phases should be equal. So I will do the counting. You do inhalation, holding, exhalation when I ask you to do so. So keep the body calm. First exhale the breath. Now start inhaling through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we do this, we repeat this 6 to 12 times, and then take a breath and exhale completely. Now just wait. Let breath come in on its own. And just watch the breath. Do not control it. Just watch the breath coming in and going out. Coming in and going out. Do not control it. Watch as if it is somebody else's breath, as if you are watching somebody else breathing. No control at all. Just watch it. Do not let the mind wander. The moment the mind starts moving away from the breath, bring it back to watching the breath. Just feel the breath coming in and going out. Just by observing, you'll find that gradually the mind calms down. And enjoy that peace. But keep observing the breath very calmly. Don't control it, let it flow as it wants to. Do not let the mind wander. Keep it tied to the breath. Keep the body still, don't move it, keep it relaxed. Keep on observing the breath. We will do this for 1 more minute.
Now we'll end this particular technique by exhaling the breath and holding the breath for as long as we can. And when we hold the breath, enjoy that stillness, that breathless state, but hold the breath only as long as you can without tension. So exhale through the mouth and hold the breath. Enjoy the stillness. Now breathe in again, exhale. Again hold the breath. Enjoy the stillness. Once more, inhale and exhale. Hold the breath. Enjoy. Okay, so keep sitting in meditation, keep sitting in silence. We will do one small visualization technique. Our saints tell us that our true nature is the same as God's nature, and God is omnipresent. That means He is sarvavyapi. And that God's omnipresence, His sarvavyapakta, is trapped in this body. So we try to release that consciousness and feel the omnipresence of God. And it is called a visualization. We are using the power of our imagination, but it is actually mental visualization, because this is what the yogis experience in deep meditation, in samadhi. So it is an actual true experience, but we are trying to bring that true experience into the realm, into the range of our consciousness by using our faculty of imagination. So that is why it's called visualization. We mentally visualize and try to experience that omnipresence. So keep sitting completely still. Keep your eyes focused at the Kutastha. Keep your mind calm. And now visualize the darkness behind the closed eyes. Just focus on the darkness. And now imagine that right in the center of the darkness behind the closed eyes, a golden light is beginning to form, like a ball of golden light. And this golden light is not an ordinary light, it is a light looking at which you feel deep joy. Keep looking at that ball of light which is forming behind the closed eyes. Now, using your power of imagination, gradually expand that light and feel that it is enlarging, and now that ball of light has enveloped your body. Your body is surrounded by that golden light. And your joy also is expanding with the light. Keep on expanding and imagine and feel that that light has grown and grown, and it is now filled the hall. And all the people sitting in this hall, including yourself, you are all floating in the sphere of light, which is rapidly enlarging. And now let it keep on enlarging, and now visualize that it has surrounded the adjoining buildings, the colonies, the town, the entire city, whole of Kathmandu, the whole city is now filled with this golden light. Keep expanding rapidly. Let the light expand in all directions. Let the whole of Nepal, with the Himalayas, with the Bagmati river, with the forests, with all the people and buildings, everything is now bathed in this light. Let it expand. Let it cross the Himalayas, grow north, east, west, south, until it has expanded, cross the oceans, cross the continents, and encircle the entire globe, and visualize the whole earth, the whole planet, now revolving rapidly in this golden light of bliss, light of joy. And feel all the oceans, continents, the mountains, they are all bathed in this golden light. Now let it expand at immense speed, traversing the vast interplanetary distances, the space between the planets, and see all the 9 planets and the sun encompassed, surrounded by this golden light. Let it expand even further in infinite directions, at infinite speed, to cover the intergalactic distances and see that the entire Milky Way, the Akash Ganga, is now within this sphere of golden light. And now let it keep on expanding, expanding, until all the galaxies are within this light. All the known universe is within this light. And realize that that is my true nature, that is my true Swarup, God's omnipresence. Now, keeping the body still, just open your eyes briefly and look at the small body, and immediately close your eyes and immediately take it back to that vastness which you have imagined, which you have felt, and realize that I am not the small body, I am that infinite, bliss-filled, all-revealing, immensely satisfying golden light. Hold on to that thought for a few seconds. Om Shanti, Shanti. So, dear friends, I have just tried to give you a taste of what meditation is all about. And what I have taught you is just a very basic meditation technique. The Kriya Yoga path taught by Ji has several much more advanced techniques of meditation, which, because of the ancient directives given by the saints, we cannot teach openly, but they can be taught in private through the lessons. So all the teachings of our Guru, fortunately, are available in the form of printed lessons, which you can order by post. You don't have to come to our ashram in India, or even come to this Paramasya Yogananda Dhyana Samaj in Kathmandu. You can order the lessons by post, get it by post, and learn how to practice the techniques. That is how I started. And I did not come into contact with any sannyasi, with any ashram for several years. But I was quite happy with my progress. So you really don't need the physical connection, though that helps. But even at home, just by reading the lessons, by regularly making the effort to practice these techniques as taught by Paramasya Yogananda Ji, you will advance very fast. And through your own spiritual growth, you will be convinced that, yes, what Paramasya Yogananda Ji says is true. It is not just imagination. God exists and I can connect with God. So that is all for today. Pranam.
श्रद्धेय स्वामी ईश्वरानन्द गिरिज्यूलाई धन्यवाद दिँदै आजको यस कार्यक्रमको प्रमुख अतिथि एवं सम्माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री राम सहाय यादव प्रसाद यादवज्यूको संक्षिप्त परिचय दिन चाहन्छु। सम्माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री राम सहाय प्रसाद यादवज्यूको जन्म उहाँका स्वर्गीय पिता प्रसाद राय यादव एवं स्वर्गीय माता सिहवा देवी यादवको कोखबाट 12 को सिमरनगढ नगरपालिका वडा नम्बर 9 बस बरियाटोलमा सन् 1974 साल जुलाई 24 मा भएको थियो। उहाँले ठाकुरराम बहुमुखी क्याम्पसमा अध्ययन गरी सन् 1989 मा गणितमा स्नातक डिग्री हासिल गर्नुभएको थियो। सन् 1990 मा उहाँले भारतको डाक्टर बाबा साहेब भीमराव अम्बेडकर विश्वविद्यालयमा विज्ञान विषय अध्ययन गरी स्नातक तहको डिग्री पनि प्राप्त गर्नुभएको थियो। उहाँले सन् 1991 मा शिक्षकको रूपमा अध्यापन कार्य सुरु गर्नुभयो र सन् 2008 मा पहिलो संविधान सभाको निर्वाचनमा प्रतिस्पर्धा गर्ने प्रयोजनका लागि सो अध्यापन पेशा छोड्नुभयो र त्यसमा निर्वाचित पनि हुनुभयो। सन् 1990 मा नेपाल सद्भावना पार्टीमा प्रवेश गर्नुभयो र त्यसपछि सन् 2002 मा तत्कालीन मधेसी जन अधिकार फोरम नेपालमा आबद्ध हुनुभयो। तत्पश्चात उहाँ सन् 2006 मा काठमाडौँमा भएको जनआन्दोलनमा सक्रिय रहनुभयो र सोही वर्ष उहाँले मधेसका केही जिल्लाहरूमा मधेस आन्दोलनको पनि अगुवाई गर्नुभयो। विक्रम सम्वत 2074 को प्रतिनिधि सभाको निर्वाचनमा 12 क्षेत्र नम्बर 2 संघीय समाजवादी फोरम नेपालबाट निर्वाचित हुनुभयो। यसै वर्ष विक्रम सम्वत 2079 मा सम्पन्न संघीय संसदको निर्वाचनमा 12 क्षेत्र नम्बर 2 जनता समाजवादी पार्टी नेपालबाट प्रतिनिधि सभा सदस्यमा निर्वाचित हुनुभयो। यही वर्ष जनता समाजवादी पार्टीको संसदीय दलको नेतामा निर्वाचित हुनुभयो। उहाँले उपराष्ट्रपति पदको उम्मेदवार हुने प्रयोजनका लागि उक्त सांसद पदबाट राजीनामा दिनुभयो र यस पटक नेपालको सम्माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जस्तो गरिमामय पदमा निर्वाचित भएर नेपालको तेस्रो उपराष्ट्रपति हुनुभएको छ र हाल उहाँ सो पदमा कार्यरत हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँलाई आजको यस कार्यक्रमप्रति आफ्नो मन्तव्य राखिदिन हुन सादर अनुरोध गर्दछु।
यस समारोहका अध्यक्ष महोदय स्वामी ईश्वरानन्द गिरिजी, स्वामी चैत्यानन्द गिरी, स्वामी आलोकानन्द गिरी, उपस्थित यहाँ महिला तथा सज्जनवृन्द, संचारकर्मी एवं सुरक्षाकर्मी मित्र, सर्वप्रथम सबैमा मेरो हार्दिक नमस्कार छ। आजको यस क्रिया योग आधुनिक युगका लागि प्राचीन विज्ञान विषय कार्यक्रममा प्रमुख अतिथिको रूपमा आमन्त्रण गरी मानव जीवनका लागि अति आवश्यक केही आध्यात्मिक तथा वैज्ञानिक कुराहरू श्रवण गर्ने तथा आफ्ना केही कुराहरू पनि राख्ने मौका दिनुभएकोमा कार्यक्रमका आयोजक परमहंस योगानन्द ध्यान समाज नेपाल र योगदास सत्संग सोसाइटी अफ इन्डियालाई हार्दिक धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। परमहंस योगानन्दजीले भन्नुभएको छ, सबै थोकले प्रतीक्षा गर्न सक्छ
तर ईश्वरको खोजले प्रतीक्षा गर्न सक्दैन। उहाँले योग तथा प्रसिद्ध क्रिया योग शिक्षाद्वारा मानव जातिलाई शिक्षित तुल्याउँदै आइरहेको छ। उहाँले क्रिया योगबारे प्रवचन तथा योग्य कक्षाहरू चलाउँदै पश्चिमको जगतमा प्राचीन क्रिया योग विज्ञानको व्यापक प्रचार प्रसार गरेर विश्वमा नै एक प्रमुख आध्यात्मिक तथा समाजसेवीको रूपमा ख्याति कमाउनुको साथै दशकौं अगाडि प्रतिपादित गर्नुभएको शिक्षा, मनोविज्ञान, व्यवसाय, चिकित्सा र अन्य कार्यक्षेत्रहरूमा उहाँले दिनुभएको अभिव्यक्ति आज पनि उत्तिकै सान्दर्भिक पुष्टि भएको छ। उहाँका शिक्षाले मानव जीवनलाई एउटा संगठित, मानवीय र आध्यात्मिक दृष्टिकोणबाट योगदान पुर्याउनु भएको छ। यस संस्थाको मूल उद्देश्यहरूमा ईश्वरको प्रत्यक्ष व्यक्तिगत अनुभूति प्राप्त गर्नका लागि सुनिश्चित वैज्ञानिक प्रविधिहरूको ज्ञान फिजाउनुका साथै मानिसलाई त्रिताप, शारीरिक, मानसिक अशान्ति र आध्यात्मिक अज्ञानताबाट मुक्त गर्नु, शरीरमाथि मन, मनमाथि आत्माको प्रभुत्व प्रतिपादित गर्नु रहेको छ। योगदा शिक्षाको माध्यमद्वारा विज्ञान र धर्मलाई तिनका मूलभूत सिद्धान्तको एकताको निरूपण गरी सामञ्जस्य राख्नु रहेको छ। उपस्थित सम्मानित व्यक्तित्वहरू, परमहंस योगानन्दजीले धेरै प्रवचनहरू दिनुका साथै केही विश्व प्रसिद्ध पुस्तकहरू लेख्नु भएको छ, जसमा योगीको आत्मकथा तथा भगवत गीतामाथि उहाँले लेख्नु भएको भाष्य द भगवत गीता गॉड टॉक्स विथ अर्जुना शताब्दीका उत्कृष्टतम ग्रन्थहरूमध्ये एक रहनुको साथै न्यू जैविक म्यागजिन एउटा न्युजविक म्यागजिनले एउटा हृदयग्राही र स्पष्ट व्याख्या गर्ने ग्रन्थ रूपमा उल्लेख गरिएको छ। योगीको आत्मकथा अझ यस कुरामा विशिष्ट छ। यसले मन र आत्माको ढोका खोलिदिन्छ। मानव जीवनमा क्रिया योगको निकै नै महत्त्व रहेको छ। यसले मानिसको मन, मस्तिष्क र शरीर स्वस्थ राख्न सहयोग पुर्याइरहेको हुन्छ। आजको 21औं शताब्दीमा प्रत्येक मानिसका अनगिन्ती इच्छा तथा चाहनाहरू रहेका हुन्छ। ती इच्छा तथा चाहनाहरू पूरा गर्न मानिसको मन, मस्तिष्क र शरीर स्वस्थ हुनु जरुरी छ। क्रिया योगको नियमित अभ्यासले मानिसलाई अध्यात्मतिर डोर्याउँछ र मानिसको मनलाई शान्त राख्न मद्दत गर्छ। यसले मानव जीवन स्वस्थ र स्वच्छ राख्नुका साथै समाजमा नै शान्ति तथा अमन चयन कायम गर्न समेत सहयोग पुर्याउन सक्छ। क्रिया योग एक अत्यन्त उपयोगी शिक्षा हो भन्ने कुरा वैज्ञानिक रूपमा नै सिद्ध भइसकेको छ। क्रिया योगको यस महान अभियानमा आफ्नो जीवन अर्पण गरी अघि बढिरहनु भएका स्वामी ईश्वरानन्द गिरिज्यूलाई साधुवाद। क्रिया योग गरौँ, स्वस्थ र शान्त बनौँ। अन्तमा नव वर्ष 2080 को सुखद अवसरमा सबैमा हार्दिक मङ्गलमय शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्छु।
नमस्कार, यो एभिन्यूज खबरको